This is West Harrow Park. I kind of, I don't know if I ever knew that this was here or not, but anyway, I'm loving it. It's a lovely day today. I don't think I can zoom in when I'm front facing on the camera, and I can't flip it during the recording. I'm going to show you Harrow on the hill, so one second. There we go. Where are we? Oh, there we go. Currently having some remedial works. Siren in the background, but other than that, peace everywhere. Nice little spot. Just behind those tennis courts there is the railway line. It's West Harrow station there, and it goes along, and I think Rayners Lane station's up there somewhere. There's a little landmark from from North Harrow there, like the churches. So West Harrow is quite amazing actually. It's like a little village. It's sort of landlocked. It's at the foot. On one corner it's kind of like North Harrow. On one corner it's at the foot of Harrow on the hill. That, by the way, is probably going into Northolt, this thing. Could be the king. Okay, just in case there's any plane lovers out there. So yeah, it's got a sort of villagey sort of feel. It's sprawling in a way. There's a lot of one-ways and dead ends. So it's a bit awkward to do it in a car. You'd have to be very lost to really stumble into West Harrow. Because it doesn't sort of have a main road. It's just, yeah, its own little zone. I mean, but coming down that back side there of Harrow on the hill is actually really nice. It's quite old. There's another Metropolitan line train. And then yeah, you walk along there and you're into, well, I think that way is North Harrow. That train's not stopping at North Harrow. It's going to Rayners Lane next. It's on where the Metropolitan line splits off at Harrow on the hill. Normally I'd be on the other side of the line, but I thought I happened to be up and about with a little bit of time on my hands. Thought I'd have a little wander around West Harrow. I'm not going to go into all the streets in there because I know what I'm like. I'll get too ambitious and I'll end up walking up on the hill, and I've parked my car somewhere where I'd have to move it in a few hours time, and I know that once I get going, like I'm really in the mood for some scones and a cappuccino and I know just the place up on the hill there, and there's a very interesting bunch of stuff in there to streets to walk around and explore, and I like sort of quirky places that time seems to have forgotten. And yeah, West Harrow, I think the thing about West Harrow as well is it's not necessarily a particularly expensive area as areas go around here, but it's got this sort of feel of a I wouldn't say exclusive, but like very not private. I don't really have the word for it, but just kind of like an oasis. You know, you can't really have that, can you? An oasis of town, an oasis of road, of buildings. But it's its own little bubble that I've lived around here for probably, I'd say, the vast majority of my life. You know, in this sort of borough, if you like. But I don't know too much about that in there. Whenever I have found myself in there, it's like years and years before I'm ever there again. There's no need, it's almost like there's no need to go there unless there is what you need to go there for. You know, you wouldn't go through it. It's not a throughway to anything. And there's no sort of cut through to anything. So you just, and it's a very anonymous looking, almost like back streets. That are the access points. And then it opens out within. But anyway, so it's quite a unique little place. I really wish I'd moved the car now, because I'm definitely in the mood for walking through there, going up on the hill. There's another jet up in the trees. Going up on the hill and having a cream tea. It's that kind of morning. So there's some sort of an orchard thing going on here. You know, one of the things that I find, there's a lot of wild meadow here as well, actually. One of the things I find the most disappointing about these days is that it's never been more worrying, it seems, to the average person around you if you don't appear to just be very obviously, you know, oh, he's here doing something with the trees, oh, he's here with his dog, oh, he's here with his kids on the swings, or whatever. It's kind of like, remember, it is my right to be here. The world's spying on me. It is my right, of course, to be here, but it's treated with, I'd say suspicion, but I don't know, it's just bring your own insecurity. Is it fear? Is it whatever it is? Anyway, it's a little bit annoying, to be honest with you. I already know the rest of this movie, and spoiler alert, he changed his mind. He was disappointed when he came out the park here that he knew where he was. So he changed his mind, and he did indeed go up on the hill for the coffee, and then he was really sweating about getting a parking ticket, but he made it, and wish he could have had the whole experience without the stress of having to get back, and then it turning out that he didn't need to, but how would you know? Yeah. So now that I've laid that out, maybe I don't have to go and prove it by doing all of those things. So I know where I am. Yeah, I'm talking myself into just saving it for another day, but oh, it's interesting. I really fancy having a wander. I'm in wander mode. I have my wander twin lined up for a phone call. What are you doing today? Well, nothing. I was going to blah, but I'm not blah. It's like, come and have a wander. Yeah, I kind of know where I am, and look at that. So what does that do? That goes up to Whitmore Circle, where Whitmore School used to be and still is, but probably quite a lot different from when I were a lad, although I didn't go to that school. Probably would have been lined up to, but other circumstances occurred. So, and that goes up to the foot, obviously goes up to the foot of, is this Shaftesbury Avenue? Might be. That goes up to the foot of, just off the back of, is it West Hill? Of Harrow on the Hill. But 10:30, I might not be able to sit and have a relaxing coffee, but methinks I is gonna go a wandering. I kind of want to show you what I see, but I don't want to be walking and talking with the camera the whole time. Plus a zillion K resolution, it uses up a quadrillion piano bytes of space, and you end up having to spend £100,000 a month getting it stored somewhere. So I can't remember the exact figures, but it's, you know, something like that. So here I am, dodgy guy walking around making people nervous. Sad, isn't it? But before that, you've got the good old English snobbery of like, who are you and what are you doing here? So, what the hell is that? Okay, some clothes. Yeah, I can hear somebody shouting in the background in a language I don't understand, so, but somebody will, so I'll probably have to edit that out. But anyway, yeah, this is West Harrow Park, and where I am, I'm in the dark. I'm just here having a lark, as is my art. Okay, I'm gonna just pause this for a bit. Well, she's not exactly making her life private, so I'm gonna carry on. Nam to dom. In check footy. I mean, what I tried to just say was, I don't know, I'm just walking. But literal translation is probably not quite what I thought. But anyway, and it was, yeah, Hungarian. But what that lady was speaking, I don't know. But I just suddenly thought, well, she can see me. She knows she's in a public space. She's having a very loud, it probably isn't even a rant. She probably just thinks, well, you know, you shout when someone's far away. You're talking to them on the phone. How are you? Yeah, I'm great. It's like, can you hear me? Loud and clear. The other thing, I think, in case you haven't worked this out yet, you know when you're in your car and you park up to finish off a conversation before you get out, you can't be heard. What you're saying can't be heard. But the person you speak to, well, they're coming out of 16 speakers and a subwoofer. So you hear half of the conversation, and I'm just saying, if anybody hasn't figured that out yet, you might want to bear that in mind. You know, when you're talking to someone on the phone, hands-free in your car, and it's all coming through the speakers, and then you park your car, continue the conversation, the entire street can hear what that person is saying to you. It's loud. The soundproofing on a car is designed in reverse, isn't it? To stop the sound coming in, not to stop it from coming out. So anyway, I was hoping that there might be a little corner that I can get out up here. And it doesn't really appear to be, which is a bit disappointing. A little alleyway into the heart of the West Harrow bubble would have been quite nice, but I'm going to walk around the perimeter. Perhaps I was wrong about the ending of this movie. Perhaps the guy didn't go up the hill after all. You never know. I didn't want to do it by walking along the roads. I wanted to just, you know, come out into another little sweet spot of the area. But yeah, no, it's obviously if you live in one of these houses, you can have access, you know, at the bottom of your garden with a gate. If you don't already have one, you probably need planning permission, I would have thought, actually. But anyway, what a fantastic place. It's a bit of a shame there was a cafe there. It wasn't open and it looked like it just in a bit of a bad state of disrepair. It just doesn't get enough footfall, I suppose, to be open often enough to make it worth somebody's while to to keep it open, to commit to that as their source of income. I'm just trying to, what I know from experience, I'm just zooming in. Oh, there we go. Is that you get a bit of a fisheye lens thing when you zoom out too much, even though it's a nicer view. Looking through my phone at the view that I'm recording, it looks nicer when I zoom right out. But I remember if you're watching it on a decent sized TV, it's like you get too much curvature, like a goldfish bowl, sort of, not completely, but just enough for it to look a little bit unnatural, and it's a distraction. You're trying to look at something and it's warping your mind, your brain. But yeah, so I think I'm just confirming that, lovely as this park is, there's sort of not really. I think there's an exit over in that corner, but as well as the one that I just came out of, and of course the one I came in, because that's an exit if you go out through that way. But there's no others. It would be nice if there was in these corners. That would be quite the thing. It really is quite funny seeing people hold their space. It's like someone will give you a suspicious look. Someone will just. It's like an audition. It's like it just feels to me like each person is doing in their own way, saying, "Don't eat me." It's like, "Don't eat me because I'm big and tough and you'd come off worse." Someone else like, "Don't eat me because I'm just sweet. Don't eat me because I haven't even noticed you because I'm so busy talking to my friend on the phone." But I've lived in some places where I haven't enjoyed walking around. I've lived in some places where I wouldn't visit a place like this, nice as it is. I can remember a few places where I've lived where there was little parks just tucked in, dipped in a bunch of houses at the top of the hill, and the lovely, great big houses, and almost like big Georgian mansions, if you like. But you always get the feeling that perfumed cigarettes were going to alter your day, and not because you'd smoked them. Anyway, there's somebody doing a bit of gardening work. So he obviously works for Harrow Council. What, Harrow? So there I am. Two things I'm a bit disappointed by. Those little corners that didn't have an exit. I think I pretty much already knew that. And the fact that, as it stands right now, I'm not currently going to go into the other corner. Isn't that nice? There's plants. It's a very lovely park, actually. Most parks are, but anyway. But yeah, it looks like I'm not going to go in the other exit. Oh, there isn't one anyway. Let's have a look. So I'm here. I went there to the exit. I thought there was one there. There isn't. So that's it. That's a little bit of a disappointment. There's no other exit in here. And that was Shaftesbury Avenue. Yeah. So I came out there, that was into Rayners Lane, and that was into the bottom of Harrow and the Hill. So I could go along there and up there and along there, just, which I wouldn't do, but oh, I see. And then come out here somewhere to go up on Harrow and the Hill. Looks like I'm not going to do it. So I was wrong about this movie. Well, there you go. I'm off the hook. I don't have to go and explore. I think I'm part dog. I think it's like my duty to go, you know, my nose is sniffing around. It's my duty to go and check it out. Oh, that looks interesting. It's like a, if it's not already, I'm pretty sure this is going to end up being a conservation area. It's just, it's so of what it is, and yet so uniquely so. Isn't that weird that you look, you think that it's a unique stereotype? I mean, it's a certain type of development, and it's just, yeah, I don't know, it's just definitely its own. I don't think I've got enough vocabulary, really. I think that's what's happening here. Somebody would probably sum it up of what it actually is, but I think this is going to be a conservation area at some point. It's a bit like, you know, there are some things that are so of what they are, such a great example of something that you wouldn't normally think about preserving, but it's, you know, it's so stereotypically defined by something that you think, well, we'll preserve that one because nothing shows what we're talking about more than that. And yeah, I think you think there's like a little pub or a little corner shop or something in here, a little convenience store, but maybe there isn't. I'm so annoyed with the hassle it's going to be of lugging this data around that I'm generating here. I'm a little bit against the idea of paying Apple £27 a month for more storage. Especially when you can get unlimited with GoPro for like £50 a year or something. I don't know exactly how that works, but anyway. So I could figure a way out of up here somewhere. I mean, obviously I've always got maps if I want to look. I have a vague idea, but not exactly the idea of which way I'm pointing. So probably can either go back or just walk to the Harrow on the Hill station and get on a different line. But yeah, even if I paid the money for the extra cloud storage from Apple, you've also still got to have physical storage on your own hard drive. It takes up so much space. You know, 4K, and you want to shoot in the highest resolution you can, really, just for the future's sake, because TVs are getting bigger, and also it gives you the opportunity to zoom in and crop. You know, if this, you know, you've got enough pixels to get right in close if there's something you want to pull out of a shot like years later. Like, for instance, walking along here and see some car that 40 years from now will be quite rare, and you want to zoom in on that car. in the future. But yeah, so you want the most amount of little dots as you can get your hands on. So my options now, I can walk up here, I think that's Besborough Hill up there, and I can go in the back entrance of Harrow on the Hill station. I think that's what I'm going to do, because if I walk back around and go into West Harrow, I would then have to take the train to Harrow on the Hill anyway, and then jump on a different line to come back out. So, oh, there we go, Harrow Village Store. Well, it's not quite a period piece, is it? Well, it is, but of the 70s maybe. Which we're probably not preserving too much. Oh, there's a single store up there. It's closed. There's an old police box. Ah, the things you see. Do you know somewhere I wish I had seen a game at Griffin Park at the old Brentford grounds? That looks like a public footpath to somewhere up there. Because it was like this, you know, to be in a place like this and all of a sudden you know, you've got a football ground, and it's famous for having a pub on each corner, I think. And although the new ground is great, and it's still quite funny because it's kind of landlocked. You know, the old quirky, I love it's a bit like the way nature just grows, where you get a dandelion growing out of a footpath, you know. Some of these football grounds look a bit like that, because they just, they've grown, you know, they're in what has become such an odd place as things have progressed. Police public call box. TARDIS book hub. How quirky. So this obviously hasn't been open for years. The clothes and shoes dump. Oh, there's another footpath up there as well. What the hell is that? Allotments. West Harrow station is quite unique. I was kind of looking forward in a way to going back in there, to come back the other way, especially in the context of, you know, from both views, and getting out of a train station and finding yourself here, to sort of walking around a place like this and seeing it's got a train station tucked in there. I kind of like that sort of thing. But this footpath obviously goes somewhere. I think I have a rough idea of where, and I think that's what I'm going to do, is go along it and just go back to Harrow on the Hill, and come back another time, if of course I do at all. apartments. Oh, sorry, 1 second. That's an interesting thing I've just spotted. What's that all about? Clothes bags abandoned and some gardening bags abandoned. That's weird. Oh, I suppose I think I know. Maybe in that clothes bank, when it gets too full, people put bags outside it. I can kind of understand, as ridiculous as it may seem, because you've made it a commitment to go and get rid of those clothes, and then you get there and you can't. It's like, well, they're not coming back home with me, so people probably dump them outside, like you do with charity shops, or like they or people do. Some people do. And then I suppose they just get dispersed. Maybe somebody goes through them thinking, let's have a look, see if there's anything decent in there. Yeah, I know. Is this La Selle's Avenue? I remember. Kind of know. And there is hill. So there's where I was. So tucked in amongst that lot is a convenience store which is closed. Police TARDIS box, a open sort of whatever off license and whatever it is, like sweet shop, whatever, news agents, and a park. And that obviously goes, oh I know, something, won't get into that. Charles Crescent, yeah. Back in the day. So I could go wandering through there, but I think I'm going to go basically up there, back onto the main road, and into the Harrow on the hill in the back way. Really annoyed. I think my actions are naturally right. I think I just trust that it's a good thing that I've got to move my car at 1, but it doesn't feel like it. I really want to go and wander. And the other thing I think is one of the good things about a bike is that you can cover so much more ground. It's like I want to go and see where that goes, but I won't be wanting to walk back the other way. So, you know, sometimes you think if you're on a bike, you think we just carry on, you do a big loop or something. But anyway. Yeah, I used to. Yeah. I have memories of bits and pieces of around here. Various different things. I mean, Hawkins Close, Charles Crescent. Yeah. Yeah. Oh well, anyway, that's what I'm doing, is walking up here now, so I think we're going to sign off. Okay, I've come back because of Google Maps has footpaths on it. Apple Maps doesn't seem to tend to. That's Whitmore School down there. I think Ah, it's gone now. You can see it from here anyway through the trees. But yeah, I've decided, I had a feeling that this footpath here might go to the foot of the back of Harrow on the hill where the cricket pitch is, which is quite a nice way to go up the hill. And yeah, when you get up there, there's somewhere, a few coffee places or whatever. So with that in mind, I decided to change my mind and come through here. I wanted to, but I am a bit bothered about time, so that's why I was sort of thinking I could end up biting off more than I can chew if I go up this way, which is why I mentioned about the benefits of having a bike. I don't have one now. I sold my last few. Some of those houses in disrepair a little bit, or even a lot. But anyway. Some little bags of clothes. Yeah, oh, this happened a lot sooner than I thought. I didn't realise I was as close to this as I am. This is what I was hoping. So, there we go. Footpaths are great. So amazing where you end up, where you can see on them. But this is fantastic. It's actually adjacent to where I want to be, which is a start. So let me just film a bit of this. Not sure whose this is. Obviously there's a sign down there, but I'm not going to bother. That footpath probably continues in some way. It doesn't just end. I'm sure it, maybe it's just a right of way that goes right over here or something, but anyway. I mean, these are valuable, you know. I'm not talking about, they probably are, well, they certainly are valuable financially, but they all, I'm sure they generate wealth because they generate well-being, and those two are like a chicken and egg thing in most cases. Depends how you come across your wealth, I guess. Never get high on your own supply. Anyway, yeah, but it's so nice because you've got something like this, which I would imagine it's public in some way. It might be some official cricket club of some sort. Seems quite a few cricket pitches. There's also, by the way, I think that there in the middle of the shot is Whitmore School. The roof of its massively extended facade. But anyway, what I'm trying to say, let me just zoom out to the right. Outness. What I'm trying to say is that this, the other side of the road to this, where that bus is going, if you can see it there you go. That, I think, is Harrow School's cricket pitch. Maybe this is as well, but I don't think so. It's maybe West Harrow Cricket Club, something like that. Don't know. But it's so. Let's get a GoPro on my head and know that it's recording and that I can upload it to the cloud in an unlimited supply as soon as I have Wi-Fi. That's the way to go. But holding my iPhone as it kills the battery, kills the hard drive space on every device I have. It kills my pocket if I try and keep up with cloud storage. But what you get is a continuous take. That's, if you put chapters on that on YouTube, then people can watch bits of it or the whole thing. But this is, to me, what the whole Suburbia thing is about. You've got to have those open spaces as well, and the fact that it's very pretty, isn't it? It's very tree lined. I mean, it's just a town in where it's classed as Greater London. Anyway, it's got one of the most famous schools in the world. Right, well, not right there, because that's the church outside one of the most famous schools in the world. But yeah, this is all inside the Euler zone as well, of course. Why wouldn't it be? Sprawling urban metropolis such as this. I wonder if anyone was thinking of having poo tax when it was all horses. I suppose we had poll tax, maybe they just misspelled it. But, high-low north. Oh, what a lovely... This is Roxif Farm. Is there a swimming pool along here somewhere? There used to be an outdoor swimming pool along here. Oh, look at that. See that? The thing is because it's Heathrow Airport territory, from a pilot's point of view, I mean, it's not that close, but it is when you're doing 400 mile an hour and looking for somewhere to land. It was obviously partly the reason it was chosen is because the land was flat for such a long period, and I mean, look at that. It does go on behind that sign. Such a lovely area, actually. So much. These are modern times, aren't they? Look at that. Such a lovely area. Look at the state of all of this. Yeah. I think I'm probably getting quite a good signal right now, especially 5G. Anyway, yeah, that's all of that, I think, is Harrow on the Hill Cricket Club. This is what I'm looking at the time. I've got just under 2 hours. I mean, I could probably be home in half an hour. So, but let's say I've got an hour of, I can't swear, can I, pea-balling around. Before I really absolutely have to get back. So, how about that? Isn't that nice? For me, that is lovely. I want that. As in, I don't want to build a block of flats on it, a car park, and God knows what else. But you see, look, it's preserved. Why is it preserved? It's preserved because it's in use. So it's not just the space, it's the fact that it is serving a purpose. And that's keeping it well manicured, and I think that's great. I'm not a big cricket fan, but it's on the occasion. I could probably sit here on my cushions with far too much food and watch something. But anyway, oh no, this is I'm looking at it, Colts versus Eton. The clue, they're playing Eton time and time again. So yeah, I think this is also Harrow School's land as well. That's pretty darned impressive, isn't it? I mean, they've got the same stuff going on the other side of the hill just as much as that and that and that, with athletics tracks and this, that and the other. And in between they've got some pretty prime real estate on top of a hill where you can see for miles if you've got just the right building, and that is a conservation area. And that means that, unlike say Monaco or Dubai, if you've got a view from your property up there on the hill, you're probably still going to have that view in 5, 10, 15, 20 years time. Nothing's going to get built in front of your window, put it that way. That's the idea anyway. I live in a conservation area, and I've now got 12 new neighbours I never had before, because someone ripped down a bunch of TPO trees and he's going to smack down some garages and put up a couple of houses there because someone's wife needs a new Volvo or something, I don't know, whatever. Anyway, so yeah, look, they're the fixtures. I'm thinking those are Harrow School fixtures. You know, Bash Street kids are probably not going to play Eton, but then again, even if they did, it probably wouldn't be at cricket. Anyway, take that for absolute granted. But so anyway, I'm going to cross the road now, and he doesn't want to bother with the highway code, so he continued to crawl along as I walked across the crossing with a camera. Anyway, why is it? It looks like I'm zoomed in. Oh, I see. I'm looking at the wrong button. The wrong. Got there in the end. Oh, you know what, and the first thing I want to do is zoom in again. So anyway, I'm going to. Look at that. I don't know what the flag is. Yellow, white and blue. Is that Harrow School colours? Possibly. I mean, I think there's quite a lot of blue and yellow influence coming out of there, but see, someone's updated the NATO flag. Anyway, let's whatever. So there we go, we've got that. These guys probably hit the ball harder because there are nets up, unless you can get planning permission for that. It's lovely, isn't it? For me, I'm a romantic, aren't I? I'm still loving this. I think don't do anything to bring having the privilege of this in your hands into disrepute, please. Can you just not do that? You know, you've got a lovely school in a really lovely location, you know, the hill is, anyway. You've got some, you know, when I say assets, I don't mean that in property developer terms. I mean it as in you've got some nice things. You've got some good toys. You've got some really cool toys. You're getting a decent education. Don't be a barn immigrant, you know? Can you, please? You know, if you know how to lead, please. Lead is not rude. Anyway, so I like this stuff. I like the heritage of it. I'm proud. I'm pretty much an Englishman. And yeah, don't want one of those today, thank you. or any day. And I love the heritage. I mean, this, I'm gonna make a big thing of this just for a second. This is Harrow School's cricket pitch, and so's that over there. And we're starting to get into the thing with Harrow on the hill where the school is. The school has so many buildings. Harrow School, sixth form ground field house. So it is an institution. I don't see that serve any useful purpose to us to have it lost. Nice. There you are on the edge of your property, trying to get the angle right on the edge of that. Yeah, I just don't see what purpose it would serve to have this institution go under the bus as well. Even though haters could pull me out a long list of thugs who came out of this place. But, you know, and what is its purpose and all the rest of it. But, although I can take that on board and I see the point, I don't think the alternative, what such a person having a rent like that, I usually get the feeling I wouldn't like what they would have instead. You know, I think I want my despots, not theirs. You know, clues in the word despot. Let's not have any of those. Well, if you have them, fine, but just don't. If they're of no consequence, that would be better, wouldn't it? Oh, look, a dastardly plan. How cute. I remember those. No, he's gone. Okay. Fun when it lasted, eh? Anyway, there we go. I think I'm going to have to put a separate channel together and put this sort of stuff on there, because what I'm told is that it confuses and therefore hurts and breaks and damages the famous mystical algorithm. To put something like this up along with all my car stuff. Anyway, there's a footpath down there. To the hill and Harrow. Oh, interesting. Hello. That's going to have to be for another day, because that's that sounds electric. It is. Can you hear it whistling? Yeah, I know where I am here, and that is an interesting. I think I am going to go on that footpath. It's really annoying, but I am, because now here's something. I actually used to work. I worked in a few places here actually, but I used to work in that pub. Yeah. I was probably about 20. You have to be 21 to work behind the bar? I can't remember. Anyway, I don't think I was too young to work there, but anyway, my favourites in there. I'm going to go back down to this footpath because I do know the other side of here is where the shops are and stuff. But I'm interested to see when that footpath comes out, what it's like walking along it. So I think I'm going to do that. But if you there get it once again, you can see the plane stack and landing amongst that nice low land. Yeah. So yeah, one of my favourite things with that with that pub, when I worked there, were the Saturday mornings. And I always got, I don't know if it was just a particular occasion, but it felt like Saturdays, it felt like it was very typical on a Saturday for some of the gents to come in and have a couple of glasses of port or something like that, sit there with their copy of Sporting Life and maybe a pipe, maybe their own whippet at their feet, and they were probably going to go off to the races later on that day. And not because it was Royal Day at Ascot, but because it was race day at, now where would it have been? I don't know. But I really liked them. They were funny. You know, you're busy, you know, working, so it was, my morale was good. You get the odd drink bought for you or a tip or whatever, and you got to just see the lifestyle of these guys, or some little fly on the wall type moment. It was quite nice. It's the sort of thing that is probably gold if you're a writer, you know, because you end up, whether you're aware of it or not, you know, things influence you. And yeah, so I used to like that. That was I worked, you know, in the evenings sometimes as well, but my favourite one was getting up there for the Saturday morning, when the days when in England the pubs used to shut in the afternoons, stuff like that. What was it? What did it used to be? 11 to 2:30 or 12 to 2:30, something like that. They'd be open, and then they would shut, and you'd have to go, and then you'd come back at whatever 6, 5:30, whatever it was, till whatever. And yeah, so doing the morning stint was great. It had its own character. It's always annoying if you were having a good old drink and then the pub's shut, and you're like, well, now what we're going to do? And that's where the old off licence came from. You have to get some cans to tide you over until the pub opened again. But if you're sitting in your favourite seat with all your friends around, there's a guy up on that thing.
I didn't catch that.
You shouldn't be catching it, Siri. I didn't ask you to. Can you believe it? I mean, that's intrusive, isn't it? Anyway, where is he? There you go. He said, that's intrusive. He said, zooming in on a guy working on a steeple. It's not a chimney, is it? Chimney to God. Look, Mummy, a chimney to God. Churchfield's allotment site or something. Look at that. There is a Metropolitan line, a major Metropolitan line train station, less than half a mile back the other way here. And yet there's this. Personally, I think it's really important. I really do. I just don't, you know, this is the internet. There are trolls. Some of them aren't robots as well. Some of them are actually quote unquote real people. But basically, I just fail to see what the improvement would be to put in a, you know, if you were to put a bunch of office blocks on here, and obviously every house you've seen that's happened, there was a field before, you know. But the need is being synthetically generated or hyper generated, and the dramatization of that spurious demand is fitting the bill as it's no doubt intended to, and I don't like it. So let's not need another 1 million houses per year, and the ones we do need, let's put them somewhere that means not just me but even those coming in these, in what few new buildings are necessary, can enjoy too, even if they never thought they would. I mean, to see a bunch of families up on here having a picnic which costs them nothing is delightful. Yep, I'm using a silly little word, but to my mind it is. I don't want to see a car park here. I love my cars. But yeah, that's quite interesting. It's amazing how you can shape your future. And I knew by me having a little talk about people's reaction to see me just wandering around with a camera that's not pointed at them, by the way, as you've seen. You know, it's like, okay, if they don't feel comfortable, it's fine, but they try and project it on you. It's like, yeah, you know, you shouldn't be here. You know, okay. But now I'm looking up here. I was going to go up this side, but I wanted to come along here. Harrow on the Hill Station's somewhere around there. Probably in the middle of the shot, I'd say. So I'm not far, and I will need to get a move on, but I'm going to go up to, just in case you're wondering what the hell I'm going on about, I'm going up to where man in the bush is standing. I used to, not quite from this angle, but I used to come up here when I worked in that pub that I just showed you. I used to come up here to take a shortcut through the graveyard, sometimes in the dark at night, to get to the pub, because it saved 10-15 minutes and I was probably late. And I got used to it after a while, but first few times, I think it wasn't every week I did it. You know, it was like, oh, I'm not doing it, not feeling it this week. But then beat myself up about it, and then following week think I will this time and whatever. But anyway, so I think this might be further around from that old cemetery, and I know that's around that steep of the church anyway. So afternoon, sir. Anyway, yeah, I'm going to go up this side, but there's the cemetery. Kind of vaguely, not completely, but I vaguely remember this. I don't think, although I've walked along here before, I don't think I would normally need to, because I would have been coming from that direction up the hill that way. But anyway, yeah, it's an interesting one. Anybody interested in a small little snippet of my personal beliefs on this? Yeah, no, don't know. Here they come anyway, then, just in case. Me personally, my beliefs, feel that I'm a spirit, you're a spirit, that's what we are. We don't have a spirit, we are one. We do have a body and we'll get another one, and we've had one before. Anything you love you feel when you lose it. So just because we lived before and we'll live again, don't mean that you make nothing of losing your current identity. Happen to like my family, happen to like, despite its foibles, happen to like this body. I think it's quite a good one. I've given it the same problem I gave the last few. Again, just my opinion. Yeah. But sometimes you've got to let go. When you're gone, you're gone. Or you can just hang around these places if you want to. If you do want to, you probably won't be that aware of the fact that that is what you're doing. And I reckon most people that were doing that feel a bit better when they're released from having done so. I can remember one day sitting on a table in my front room, this lifetime, and sitting there, and all of a sudden I let go. I have no idea, and it's infuriating to me because it made such a big difference. I have no idea what it was I let go of, but it was literally like somebody clicking their fingers and just, I was awake. I'm like, oh. And it was no, you know, it weren't UFOs coming out of my bedroom window or anything like that. It was just a sudden, the epiphany was probably not the best word for it, because it wasn't, like I say, any holy whatever happened. It was just a moment where all of a sudden I snapped out of something I didn't even know I'd been sitting in. And I was like, oh, I better go and get one of those jobs people have. I popped out, got probably, in terms of working for someone, got probably the best job I've ever had. And that was summer '89, and what a summer it was. I proceeded to stick myself back into the mysterious thing that I came out of. I never quite managed to release from it since, so there we go. But it was amazing how things went for me that summer. It was just ridiculous. It was just ridiculous. It was almost like I get a thought and bang, the thing arrives. I mean, some really random stuff, but it was like sort of hot knife through butter, you know. Anything I looked at just got out of the way. So it was quite amazing. And I've forgotten about this, but I do now remember it. I want to get you to look at the plaque that's there, but there's some gentlemen looking at it at the moment. A line was written by Byron at this place. Spot of my youth, blah blah, whose hoary branches, no copyright. There's the church, see? The famous Harrow on the Hill church steeple, which you see for miles around, depending on where you are. Anyway, that was just my thing about that. So, are there spirits hanging around at graveyards? Probably. Not everyone is happy or willing to let go. You can be stuck in a win as well as a loss. If you're really enjoying that life, you hold on to it forever. But letting go and moving on is so humiliatingly true as a good idea, and so ridiculously easy to do that it's almost impossible at times, to the point where you don't even know you're doing it, and you can be doing it for a long time. So there we go. Time is caused by motion. Motion is made by decisions. So, yeah, that's like the old saying, you want to get something done, give it to a busy man. Anyone in motion has got bundles more time than someone who's, well, we would call it static, but no, it's not a static, it's a stuck to it. It's not a static, it's a stuck to it. True static, of course, has no time, space or location either, or no, it might have some space, but there's another place. So, except by its own consideration. I'm now here, ping, and there I am, etc. Now there's a lovely cafe, I wonder if that's open, the Spire Cafe. I'm going to walk round and go and have a look the other side. Do you know what? Siri keeps cutting in on my watch. It's switched off on my phone, and on my watch it's only supposed to cut in if I press and hold the bezel. So work that one out. Because it's recording me the whole time anyway, it's just only letting me know based upon what preferences I've given it, and sometimes it accidentally gets those wrong. So apparently Microsoft Windows 11, the update now takes screenshots of your computer like every half second or something. Don't know. But yeah, anyway. And you can sort of say, well, I don't mind, I'm not doing anything. Well, one, some people are, but two, why would somebody want to go to the trouble of doing that? And what is the need for that? What are they going to do? They're going to keep any screenshots that look like the computer's broken, they're going to fix remotely? I mean, why are they doing it? Anyone who sort of says, oh, they're not doing it, go and have a look on it. Whilst you still can, they are. And anyone who says it doesn't matter, would it be right if do you mind if I do that? Can I put a little bit of software on your machine that takes a snapshot every half a second and sends it to me? I won't do anything with it, I just want it. No? Those who would say, yeah, go on then. It's only because I wouldn't. I mean, literally, I knock at the door and say, can you let me in please? I need to install this bit of software that takes a screenshot of your computer every half a second and sends it to me. Include the passwords, of course. Spire Cafe is not open.
Hi, mate.
Hi. Are you using this as a site office now or something? Or
At the moment, yeah.
is the cafe still opening at the weekends? Or?
Yeah, it's open on the weekend, yeah.
Brilliant. Okay, good stuff. Cheers. Okay. So just to complete the loop, I suppose it is. There we go. In terms of my political musings, you can always turn the sound down and put some jazz on. I'm not putting jazz on because you can bet your life that one time I do, I get a copyright strike and it will go viral. So it's a nice exit down there actually, but I'm going to go this way. Where I'm looking now, if the trees weren't in the way, that's you can see Wembley Stadium. There'll be a little clearing in a second and I'll show you it. Be a little bit hazy probably, but it's only a few miles up the road. I could show you it from there, but I think I can show it from the other end. I mean, this is like, this is a beautiful looking house. Isn't that lovely? In fact, here I am doing what I said I wouldn't do. Don't listen to me, I'm whatever. But yeah, isn't that gorgeous? Those buildings are probably Harrow School. I am going to go the other way because you can't quite, plus the cafes are this way. But you can't quite see out to the yeah. That's actually not Harrow School's church, I don't think. I don't really know how churches and being a parishioner works. A parishioner of my own, but that's a different set of rules. But that there in the little gap, that in there, that's Harrow School's church. Which I've been in there, and it's got quite a nice little spiral staircase, really random, for an upper balcony of pews. Here we go, look at this, you can just about see the old Docklands. Sorry it's shaky, but I'm so zoomed in that any motion of me hand holding the camera is Alright, there we go. So now I'll just rest it on something. That's maximum zoom that I can give. So I want to do a 3-point turn. I think I'll get out of his way. That way, he doesn't need to be a crackerjack 3-point turner to keep my day on its current trajectory. Why do I get poetic when I'm speaking on a camera? I don't know. It's probably not particularly poetic, but I know what you mean. Except I don't know what you mean because it wasn't you that said it, it was me. But anyway, I know what I mean. So there we go. How am I going to get that in? I think, although the sign, oh no, this isn't private now. I thought it was, but it's not. I've got some footage which I haven't kept, which I haven't posted, of some, what do you call them, Irish dancers dancing on Harrow on the Hill, Harrow School, sorry, like 400-year anniversary or something from last year. Wembley, you trust me, you can see it from here, but it's just to the left of the centre of the picture, like behind down the left of that building. So sorry about that. I mean, you know, we've all seen Harrow on the Hill, all seen Wembley Stadium, but sometimes it's nice when you see it from somewhere. It helps you sort of see the significance of the place or where you are. So, yeah. So that there is Harrow School's church. Anyway, so you go in there last year. London bus. You almost think it should be horse-drawn coming up here. Anyway, I think I know. There's two places where I could go. Let's have a look. I've got. Actually, Siri, again. Stop it. I'm not even talking to you, Siri. It's 11:45. I've got an hour and a quarter. 20 minutes on the train, 10 minutes waiting for one to arrive. That's half an hour. Hour and a quarter. So I've got 3/4 of an hour, but includes 15-minute walk down the hill. So half an hour, which is not long enough to sit and enjoy a coffee up here. So I think I'm going to show you the place and then turn around, basically. So that's just in the centre of the picture is down the hill there is where that pub was that I used to work. And I used to work on another one at the top here as well, or just next in its garages actually, which were rented by someone else, and I was there. Well, I was the guy's mechanic. He had a whole bunch of cars he'd bought for next to nothing, couldn't get them running. And he reckoned I might be able to get some of them going. I think I did get one or two of them going. I was in over my head, but it was fun to play with cars for a bit. Anyway, Doll's House on the Hill, that's where I would normally go. Cake, happy hour, 3 till 4. Well, it's not 3 o'clock yet. All day breakfast offer. No, I'm gonna head back. I do have plenty to do today that doesn't involve this, but as I was here, I thought I might as well just let me show you. And here's the other place I was gonna decide on between the two of them. This place here, they do a nice coffee in there. Batteries. This guy who lives here came out of here once. I think it was here or next door. I think it was there. Came out and said, "What are you doing?" I said, "Taking a photograph." So I'd having a go at me. There is a bit of an internet signal up here, so I managed to show him the PDF that meant I didn't have to carry out his vociferous request. And then he proceeded to tell me that he'd been burgled a few times, so I can empathise with that. But anyway, I think I was taking a photo of the stonework or something. I don't think I posted it. It may have gone on Instagram, I don't think it did. Anyway, I am quite respectful of people's privacy. Oh, there's a Pret up here. Fancy seeing us here? It says, yeah, fancy that. Anyway, various buildings up here are Harrow schools. That there used to be the King's Head, which any Englishman knows that if it's King's Head, it's a pub, with or without guest accommodation. There's the old sign for it with its title removed. 258. Yeah, it's a famous old bus route from this area. I'll probably hop on that and walk down the hill. Go down the hill. So maybe that would be the way. But anyway, yeah, that was the King's Head. It's now apartments. Oh, King's Head Hotel. I don't know if you can make that out. Yeah, you can. Look, King's Head Hotel. I wish there's a button just to get me straight back to the one-to-one zoom level, but stuff. So I'm just going along. It's a pity that I missed that bus actually. But I think I might. Do you know what? I literally do not remember the last time I read a bus timetable. Lovely E39 now. I used to have one of those. Only for 20 years though. It wasn't like it was my favourite car ever. Oh wait a minute. Yes, it was. So this is it. What is this bus? I'm going to get this bus. yeah, so there I got a bus. Didn't get my scone and jam just yet. Burnt my little finger a bit, marginally. But for my cappuccino, but I did get some nice zero water from my own home, and avocado and some beef medallion. And I went on a bus. Hope you liked it. The walk, that is. It was quite tiring. I'm glad I got the bus down the hill and I'm home. Cheers. Subscribe, comment, like. You know the drill.